see if we can get this thing started.
Now recording.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another Goblin Beat podcast. I am Matt. We are going to be playing a one-shot adventure again tonight that could develop into a campaign. Hopefully it will. Anyway, just so everybody knows, it's just Sprite. Calm down. It's just Sprite that I'm pouring into my whiskey. So anyway, yeah, so kind of continuing our thing from last time where we're using
Savage Worlds.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I was about to overflow. Savage Worlds gaming system in a sci-fi setting. Now we're going to use the Savage Worlds gaming system in a soups setting, so superhero setting. Yeah, so that we're going to be developing our characters a little bit tonight. Maybe get things started, maybe not. We'll see. I think either way it'll be interesting because the building blocks of creating characters is pretty cool. So anyway, we got our regular crew for this particular Tuesday night session. We got Ben Hameen.
Hello.
He's the youngest and has the most luscious locks of all of us. We're all jealous. And then you get the man who gave him those luscious locks join us tonight. Pointing at his nose. I don't know. What's up, John? What's up?
That's where I grow my luscious locks, nose and ears.
Yeah, I was about to say on my earlobes that I have to shave now. That's weird. And then Brandon, who's jealous of all this hair talk.
I'll talk about it.
Who, believe it or not, one time had his own luscious locks.
I've seen pictures. I've seen pictures of those luscious locks.
Fortunately, they're still out there somewhere.
Just in birds' nests, maybe.
Probably.
Somewhere. And then Danny, of course, is here. Danny could grow some luscious locks if he wanted to, but he chooses not to.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I feel like once you reach a certain age point, it does. I mean, so for Ben, it's cool. I mean, like, he's young. It looks cool. But I feel like I don't know what the tipping age is, but there is a tipping age. And then after that, it's creepy. So
I think
I'm
it's
not
like
sure where
38. I think it's somewhere in there. 35.
Yeah, probably maybe like 35, maybe. I don't know.
Depends on how many
Sorry
kids you
for
have,
all.
too.
Yeah, sorry to all you 35-year plus folks out there with ponytails.
I mean, if you're a lady, though, it's probably fine.
Yeah, no, it's totally fine. So anyway, let's get this thing started. I gotta adjust my avatar settings here on Roll20 since this is a new campaign. Get rid of all these big old blocks.
Yeah. All right. So the first thing that's different in superhero campaign is that we have super karma. That means you get to take an extra major hindrance. That's going to give you extra points to put into your character, either for skills or ability scores, etc. as we go. So attribute points, I should say. So everybody can have 2 major hindrances and 2 minor hindrances for a total of 6 points. For those of you who don't want to do the math at home, and then you can use those points to make your character better here at character creation. So normally you can only have 1 major and 2 hindrances. This time you can have 2 major and 2 minor. So
okay. And by taking all of those, you can up your powers.
Well, you can't up your superpowers, but you can up your attribute points and your skills, and take edges, which can.
So you only get 5 superpower points to start.
Yeah. So the way we're playing this, you get 5 to start with, and then every time you guys get an advance, I think that's what it's called. Every time you get an advance, you'll get the regular stuff you get for an advance, which is 2 points that you can put into an edge or an attribute or skills, plus 5 power points. So,
okay.
So you're going to start with very, very minimal superpowers, but those are going to grow over time. So that's going to let us. That's why I'm hoping this is more than a one shot. That'll let you
Hon-
mold your character as you go and kind of learn all the superpowers.
Honestly, this does seem like it's going to be a ton of fun. I'm already invested into my character.
Oh yeah. So okay, Ben, why don't you go ahead and tell us about your guy so far?
So my guy, he's a shark man. His name is Iron Tooth. He was a sailor, but he had some radioactive shark fin soup, and it turned him into a shark mutant man.
I think I got bit by a radioactive shark.
No, he had the shark fin soup, much less violent.
Oh.
He's an
All
old
right.
man. He couldn't have survived a bite.
So yeah. So Ben, yeah. Tell us your hindrances. You've already picked those out.
So my hindrances, I have distinctive appearance because you can't really hide the fact that you're a shark man.
It's true.
I've got bloodthirsty, so I don't take any prisoners, and I'm cold-blooded ruthlessness unless there's a specific order not to.
Right.
I'm also dependent on water, so I have to soak in salt water for like an hour every 24, or I get a level of fatigue. And I'm just mean in general. I'm a curmudgeon.
So Iron Tooth takes a bath every day with some Epsom salts in his bath water. That's what you're saying.
Helps
Otherwise
his
it
joints.
backs up.
Which he was probably doing beforehand because he's 47. He's probably doing that every day anyway as a 47-year-old sailor.
Right.
So was he? He was probably mean, I assume, beforehand. But was he bloodthirsty before this change?
Oh no, that was definitely development from becoming a shark man.
All right. All right. How's everybody else doing with your hindrances? Do you
I'm
need?
working on them.
Yeah, scrolling through them. And
So-
maybe I have to share a little bit about my concept for my character. Maybe that might help. So
Yeah. Oh, and don't forget you can look in the superpower companion for there's extra superpower hindrances in there too. So tell
yeah,
us
and
about
that's
your guy.
on. Is that on Dropbox? Where's that at?
I shared the PDF with you on Discord.
Okay, I'll find it. Yeah, so my guy, here's my concept so far. His name is Entropy, and he can manipulate. Right now, he can manipulate probabilities by tweaking what's called, and some of you may have heard of this, the golden ratio inside items and people around him. So the golden ratio is the number 1.618033988875,
Mm-hmm.
and it's literally found everywhere in nature, from the way that leaves unfurl to the way that a cat curls up when it goes to sleep. And also the way that conch shells form, the way that pearls are formed from a grain of sand inside of a clamshell, all follows the golden ratio. As a matter of fact, even DNA unspooling, when it's in a cell and being read to make RNA, follows the golden ratio. So pretty much almost everything on the planet seems to be connected by this number. And so for some reason, my character can tap in to that number and tweak it in ways to make things better for him, worse for other people, maybe better for other people, but to kind of affect the odds of a situation. Right now, that's where he's starting.
Mm-hmm.
I have plans of where he might go with that, but that's as far as he can get to right now.
All right. Have you picked powers to go along with that yet, or are we going to do that tonight?
We're gonna do that tonight. I haven't
Okay.
done anything.
All right.
I haven't done anything.
So I think that made me think of several edges you could take, but not necessarily any hindrances. I guess if he's really proud of himself, he could be arrogant, maybe.
So he's a punk rocker. So that's the other thing about him. So he's kind of dirty. Got this weird kind of mullet that he's rocking. It's like this mullet mohawk combo.
Mhm.
And he's got like a kind of a dirty denim vest with a hooded sweatshirt under it, and got various tattoos, and wears a fanny pack on his back, leather, of course.
All right.
Um,
Well, yeah, I don't know. You could be impulsive. You could probably not greedy.
I didn't want to do big mouth because I don't want him to like start spilling secrets and stuff.
Right.
So
here, let me read you some from the Super Companion here. Dependent, which is one of my favorite ones. That means there is someone that depends on your character, basically, that you have to help out and deal with on a regular basis, whether it's a younger sibling, an old uncle or a grandmother or whatever else. Yes, that's somebody you have to deal with on a regular basis. There's dependency, which is you have to do or consume something in order to use your power. So, like Ben's is water, right?
Yeah.
There's gimmick where you have to take a pill or say magic words or whatever to make your powers work. Monologuer, which means you sit and talk every time something's going on. That one, whenever you get a club as your action card in combat, you have to make a smarts roll, or you spend your entire action announcing your opponent's doom and talking about what you're going to do to them.
God.
Ruthless, that can be major or minor. And then there's, of course, weakness, where your character has a particular weakness of some sort, to like fire or ice or wood or whatever. There's some other ones, but those are kind of the highlights.
Yeah, I'll probably need to look through this while somebody else is. So, but what about, you said you didn't say for powers, you didn't really think you saw anything for that particular?
No. So, so you manipulate odds to make things happen, good or bad. There's a couple of powers that make things go bad. There is jinx and malfunction. Jinx, trappings. One of the trappings is evil eye, so you can basically cause bad things to happen to foes. Malfunction is similar, but it works on electronic devices.
Gotcha.
And then, as far as making things better for you, yeah, I'm not sure. Like, there's a lot of ways you could do that where it would kind of work for you. Whether it be like danger sense or awareness. There's a lot of things you could do and say you can do that by doing the thing. Gifted is one of them.
We've got 5. We've got 5 points to spend.
You do have 5 points to spend, but one thing to think about when you're looking at the abilities that you like is there are modifiers you can add onto them, and some of them will actually decrease the cost. So for Ben, since he's a big shark man, we picked growth for him, right, which costs 3 points. It increases your strength by a die type, your toughness by 1, and your size by 1. But he took the monster modifier, which means you can never turn it off, and that subtracts 2 points from the cost. So it only cost him 1 point to get growth.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and so there's modifiers that are specific to each ability, and then there's generic modifiers. The generic ones are like requires activation, so you have to spend a free action to do it, and that subtracts 1 point from a power. And then slow to activate, you have to use your actual action to do it, and that subtracts an additional point. And there's other things like that. Device, so if your ability depends on a device, then that makes it cost less because it can be taken away. Things like that. All right.
Punchy fists.
Yeah, anybody else?
So the number next to them is the number of points it costs.
That's right. And a lot of them will be like per level,
Okay.
and then every level of it you take makes it better. Things like that.
Okay.
Are there specific edges in this too?
There
In the
are
Savage Worlds?
in the superhero thing. Yep, there are.
Yeah, that's what I was. New edges, page 7.
So for powers though, I only get one, right?
Well, you get 5 points.
5.
Just don't look at the powers on roll 20.
Okay.
They'll be
Well,
totally different.
energy control takes all 5. So
Okay. Well, then
that's
that
fine.
that would take all 5 of yours unless you put one of those modifiers on it that make it cost less.
All my modifiers make it go up.
Well, there's the generic modifiers, like you could say that it's, if you got it from a device, like if you wear a necklace that gives it to you, then that could subtract 2 from it, things like that.
No.
Or if you made it where you have to activate it where it's not always on, that can subtract the cost. I'm not saying you should do that. I'm just letting you know that those are things you can do. All right. Have you picked any hindrances yet, John or Bogus?
Yeah. So I think I've got my hindrances.
Okay. What you got?
So I'm playing. I'm going to play a guy who can control energy fields, and he wants to be known as Gamma.
Uh-huh.
And so he wears a gamma symbol on his shirt.
Okay.
But people just assume it's a letter Y, so they call him Mr. Y.
Okay.
But he calls himself Gamma. Anyway, I took that he's clueless, so he doesn't pay much attention. My idea for this character is that he's like the most average person ever,
Uh-huh.
and he's completely out of his league. But he just happens to be able to manipulate energy. Like he's not big and buff. He's not super fast. He doesn't have a super power, like super strength or anything like that. He's just like your everyday average 20-something who just happens to be able to manipulate energy fields. So anyway, he's clueless, means that he suffers a -1 penalty to common knowledge and notice rolls.
Mm-hmm.
I put down that he's tongue-tied, so he always flubs the cool lines or thinks of them afterwards, goes off on tangents, and generally miscommunicates everything he says.
All right.
And then I put that he's out of his league, so he can't spend all of his PowerPoint. He can only spend 1/5 of his PowerPoints on
So
any one power.
I think you might
Oh,
have
is
to
that
pick a
not
different.
a good one?
I think you might have to pick a
Okay.
different one than that, because that would mean you can only spend 1 PowerPoint per power.
Oh, okay. Well, then I need to take that one off. I also took the all thumbs, so -2 penalty when using mechanical or electrical devices.
All right.
And if I roll a critical failure while I'm using it, it's broken.
Okay. Oh yeah, let me give you guys. I read the blurb to Ben and Brandon earlier, but I didn't really say it to you. So the idea here is that you've all just passed, barely passed, provisionally passed the hero aptitude test, the heroic aptitude test. Okay, like you're like superheroes, like the least powerful superheroes are classified as level C, rank C. You're rank P for provisional. You're not really superheroes, but they did see that you had some abilities, and they thought maybe you'll get better, so they've marked you as provisional heroes. Put you in basically in just like a crappy apartment altogether in a really bad part of town to see if you can help clean things up. And if you do a good job, you'll get reevaluated every couple weeks, and either like stop being heroes, stay provisional heroes, or possibly, if there's an opening, become rank C heroes. So, and so all of you, you don't have to be, but my general idea is that you're all late bloomers and that you've all come across your superpowers or, your magic hat that you wear or whatever it is later in life. And you just kind of stumble into this thing recently. I think I told all of you this already, but we haven't mentioned it on here yet. So you're in Saigai City, which used to be like right around Yuma, Arizona, basically, back in the day before all the apocalypses, and there's been a lot of them. And so now it's beachfront property. Like this is a coastal city, whereas used to be it was hundreds of miles inland. There's a large Japanese population because a lot of them got washed over here during one of the Cthulhu uprisings or something. And then there's a lot of American and English, and then a smattering of other people. Population of the planet, human-wise, is way down. Almost everybody lives in these giant mega cities, which is where you are. You're in like sector. This is like Borough G, Sector 13 or something. I think is the part of the city you're in, which is one of the crappiest ones. It's like an outer part of the city, near the docks, which is why Iron Tooth can get along here. But that's the general idea. And as we go, the more as you guys get beat up, knocked out, killed, whatever, it'll activate your powers, and they'll get stronger and stronger as we go. All that just to say, hey John, what was your guy before he started being Mr. Y/Gamma?
Let's see. Probably nothing impressive because he's just like your average dude.
Okay,
Maybe he was a barista.
A barista. Okay, I was gonna say door-to-door Blu-ray disc salesman. Okay.
No, because he's all thumbs, man. He can't work that electrical equipment.
That's true. All right.
So where do I put that on background? Is there a place on the list or whatever?
There is somewhere on this sheet. There's a place for background stuff. Here it is: physical appearance and personal history. All right. So that's Gamma. We talked about Iron Tooth. Matt is going to be Entropy. Vargas, what have you decided? I know you've had some ideas.
Yeah, the initial one, if anyone listened to our fiasco recording of a little bit ago, I was going to play the character from that that somehow like upgraded to be able to shape change by himself, and it after talking with a little bit on with Danny on trying to figure out how that would work and progress, it kind of just got a bit complicated. So I'm thinking now about playing a character that's kind of controls and manipulates like the elements, and kind of going with the tag name Elemental. And so far, as I'm looking at, I'm considering the hindrances loyal, but also who do we just lost Matt? No, not Matt. Ben.
Yeah.
The other major hindrance I was considering was habit, and making them kind of OCD.
Okay.
And getting caught up in certain things like before he walks out, he has to like check the lock on the door like 3 times, and those type of things before he does certain things. So just kind of see how that kind of plays out in some of the games. But that's as far as I've gone on hindrances so far.
So that would be the minor version of habit, I guess. Or are you talking about?
Haven't expanded it yet. I've just again like my initial thought was on the other character, and so we just kind of changed it about 30 minutes ago.
Right. Well, so the habit there's a minor and a major version of habit, so you can kind of decide.
Okay, the major is like you're addicted to something.
Yeah, it's like an addiction. Yeah. So
okay, so we have to have 2 majors.
So you can have 2 majors and 2 minors. Yep.
Okay, so Danny, I'm thinking about taking the energy activation with or energy control with the requires activation modifier.
Okay.
So that gives me 1 more point, and then I think I'll put that 1 point into deflection.
Okay. You can do that.
Okay. So how do I do that on my character sheet?
Yeah, so I think you all have access to Ben's character sheet. I think you all have access to each other's.
Okay.
If you look at his, I put his superpowers in the other day. You can kind of see how I did it. He is. And I actually made Blobert as well. I think you guys all have access to him. Blobert's probably actually a better example. Can you all see him?
Yes.
Okay, so Blobert, I made him just for fun. He's a human blob. One of his super abilities is altered form, and I'll just click on it here so you guys can read it without having to open it if you don't want to. So I in the notes section just kind of put all of the modifiers that he has. You can see, so he's got altered form, which is 3 points. He can increase or decrease his size. Then he's got grapple, which is 1 extra power point, which lets him entwine his victims in basically in his blobby limbs. He can do that. And viscous, which lets him go through like small openings and push himself, under doors and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
So,
so I would just in the notes section put down that it requires activation.
Yeah. So you put the PowerPoint total in the PP section there, and then you can put all your modifiers in the notes. All right. Okay. Who's doing what here? Are we still waiting for Ben to come back? Yeah. Well, at least his character's basically made.
Yeah. He's the only one who did the homework.
All right. Let's see. Bogus, you want me to change your guy's name to Eli Mental for you? There you go. All right. So if you decide on those hindrances, Brandon, you can actually drag them from the area over here under your character sheet, and it'll add them for you.
Okay, I'm trying to find another major hindrance.
Gotcha. There's always. So what was Eli Mental before, or Ellie Mental, I guess if it's a girl, before these superpowers kicked in, and how did they kick in? Have you decided that yet?
Let's see.
I'm just asking to see if that will help us.
Basically, he got caught up in a hurricane and ripped from the boat and thrown into a volcano. And
So maybe he was a weatherman or something beforehand.
Yeah. And just it was just an extreme of a whole bunch of different like elemental things, and somehow he came out of it.
With these strange powers starting to form. All right. Yeah, so you could do things like maybe take a weakness if you thought of something that would be a weakness for him.
So there's allergy.
Terminally ill. That's always fun.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
You could have that dependent.
Probably like I'm wondering like weakness major being like whatever elemental he's using. It's the opposite that is his weakness. So if he's doing like ice, I guess a fire, whatever, is going to hurt him more.
Yeah.
I mean, that would kind of make sense if that's what he's enacting at the moment.
Right. Yeah, weakness is a major hindrance. That was pretty rough because it doubles damage.
Yeah.
Am I back?
Yep.
Oh, finally. That was stupid.
Did you have to rebuild the internet?
Apparently. It just stopped and then didn't start back up again. So where are we at? Are we at edges yet?
I think I've picked all my hindrances if people want to hear that.
Yeah.
So I picked Ruthless as a minor hindrance. So I'll, I won't mess around with anybody who's in my way, short of like being crazy about it or attack. I won't like attack my friends or anything like that.
Hmm.
But anybody else, I won't hesitate to do what I need to do to get rid of them. And then I have dependent as a major. It's my Granny G. She raised me when my parents were killed in a kaiju attack.
All right.
So I gotta take care of my Granny G. And then gimmick major. I have to place my hand to my head like this, to get my power, to tap into it, just to find that concentration.
To crank your powers
Little,
on.
yeah, little Charles Xavier style,
Okay.
hand to the head, and then Mania Minor. Sometimes I just get so sucked into the to the fact that this number, because I can feel this number all around me.
Hmm.
Sometimes that I feel so overwhelmed by it that I just can't do anything. I'm just frozen. I'm just sucked in. I call it being sucked into the void.
Cool.
So
So what's Mania do? Let me see.
yeah, Mania Minor.
Is that out of the book?
It's out of the Savage Worlds.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
companion.
So
Yeah.
Mania Minor. The character has a serious negative mental illness of some kind, such as lack of empathy towards other or psychopathic compulsion to cause harm.
Gotcha.
Both reduce charisma by 2 to those who know of it. A minor mania occurs infrequently or isn't often to get the character killed, or isn't likely to get the character killed. A major mania, major mania is more or less full-time obsession with
Gotcha.
serious consequences. So that's why I went with minor, because I'm not constantly, but there's a chance that I could, in some situations, just get overwhelmed by my access to
All right.
this occurrence.
So there's no more charisma ability or attribute in Savage Worlds anymore. So what you do is that would just be a -2 to like a persuade or intimidate or anything roll for people that know that. So
Okay.
basically just a persuasion, really, would be the main one. So we'll just keep that in mind.
Okay. Got it. So those are my hindrances.
All right. Cool.
And then I also went through and picked out some powers, but I guess we're not there yet, right?
Yeah, we're not quite there yet. Okay, so does everybody have
Okay.
their hindrances? Brandon, did you get yours sorted out?
Sort of.
No, you still don't have any hindrances. All right. Let's see. You said you were going to do loyal, right?
Yeah, I think I'll do Code of Honor, I guess.
So
I'll
you're,
do Loyal and Code of Honor.
so you're going to be the super good guy. You're going to be the.
There's gonna
Yeah,
be
just to get
there's
this
gonna be a
moving
power.
along. I mean,
You
I'm
could
trying
go-
to figure out something that doesn't like completely like handcuff my character.
I mean, Danny could always let you change it later, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just want to move it along so we can just Code of Honor and Loyalty, Loyal at the moment.
All right. All right. So that's a major and a minor. We just need one more of each.
Then oh, Loyal's minor. All right, have it as a minor, and
Yeah,
someone throw out a reasonable major.
I would say
Major Tom, he's pretty reasonable. He's up there in his tin can.
I think arrogant is major. That'd be interesting to go along with loyal and code of honor to be arrogant at the same time. Is impulsive major or minor? Impulsive is major.
Major.
Yeah, rarely thinks things through, just acts. Jump leap before you look, kind of thing.
Sure, let's do Impulsive.
That's a good superhero hindrance.
Or if you want to play off of our fiasco thing, maybe he has a phobia of aliens.
That's true.
True.
Oh, that's only a minor.
Yeah,
hindrance,
that's if I
though.
was playing Aaron, but I guess I'm not. So, all right. So I got impulsive, code of
You can-
honor as majors, and loyal and habit as minors.
Okay. All right. Yeah, phobia can be either one. All right. Okay. All right. So let's do attributes. All right. Everybody has 5 attribute points. You can sprinkle those however you want. Each attribute point can raise the die type of one of your attributes. So just so you know, strength is for punching and for doing melee damage. That's the main reason it's used. That and for having a lot of gear on. Vigor directly affects your toughness, so it makes you harder to hurt. Spirit is used for like interpersonal skills and for shaking off being shaken. Vigor is also used for soaking damage for the soak rolls. Smarts is used for almost everything else, except for what agility is used for, which is athletics, shooting, and fighting. Athletics is the throw skill, by the way. If you want to throw sweet knives, that's athletics.
What if you're doing like manipulating matter and energy and stuff?
Well, that depends. Are you going to manipulate it into a giant lava fist to punch your foes with, or are you going to be shooting lava at them or in fire?
Probably shooting more.
All right, so that would be more agility.
So Danny,
hmm
based off of my character being kind of clueless and not like super smart or super strong, I put 1 in agility, and 2 in spirit, and 2 in vigor. Does that sound about right?
1 in agility, 2 in spirit, and 2 in vigor. Yeah, that sounds good.
I mean, it leaves my strength and my smarts down at D4, but that kind of fits what my character is.
So will everything start at D4 and then I can just put the points in? That way?
Yes, that is exactly how it works.
Yeah, for
Okay.
each point you put into a thing, you change it up 1 die type.
Yep. Now, so remember, Ben, your strength starts at a D6 because of your
Oh, it does?
growth. Yep. That's right.
Cool. So I'll bump it up to D10. So it's 2 in that. I want to do 2 in vigor and I think 2 in agility.
Well,
What is spirit?
that would
That
be
would be
6,
6.
and you only get 5.
Oh, wait. Well, then
Spirit,
1 in agility.
spirit
Sorry.
is interpersonal skills and becoming unshaken, things like that. So when you take damage, being able to recover and act again.
And then do we need to change all our skills underneath to match whatever it says up top?
Nope. We'll get to that. We'll get to that in a minute.
Oh, okay.
So all of you should hopefully have the a list of skills. Those are the common skills that everybody starts the D4 in.
Okay.
What is the success rate on Unshake?
You need a 4.
4. Oh, my bad.
I'm really stuck on the
And
attributes. I
you get
didn't expect
you
that.
get your wild die though too.
Yeah, you do. You're
So
stuck
yeah,
on
I
it?
think I'm gonna.
How come you're stuck on it, Matt?
I'm just trying to think about how it fits with my character.
Got you. Okay.
I mean, I think smarts definitely
So
fits with what I'm doing.
put your 5 points in the way that makes the most general sense to you right now, because we're going to come back. You guys have 6 bonus points, which means if you put all of them into attributes, that's three more attribute dice you could bump up. Right. So
Right.
so if you spend all 6 of those points on attributes, that gives you, instead of 5, that gives you 8 that you can do.
So I was kind of looking through the edges, and I have a bunch of them that I think would work.
Uh-huh. Well, everybody
It's
gets
just a matter of
everybody gets 1 edge for free as being a human, even though some of you are only partly human. So you get 1 edge for free.
Okay, I'm gonna choose
but
menacing as that edge.
okay, all right, yeah, but we'll get to edges in a minute anyway. All right.
Oh, okay.
Anybody
Sorry.
still having trouble with attributes?
No, I put 2 into smarts, 1 into agility, 1 into spirit, 1 into vigor. I just kind of sprinkled them about.
Okay. Eli Mental, how are you doing?
I'm done on attributes.
All
I'm
right.
just looking at digits right
On what now? On what, Peppa Pig? What'd you call this?
What kind of pig? What?
Peppa Pig's attributes.
Yeah.
I'm done with my attributes.
Yeah, that's what I was
I
calling
must
it, too.
be more careful in future, or I might end up in hospital.
If Danny were playing a character, he'd have made Whistle Pig.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, so Brandon, looks like you put 6 points into yours.
No, it something just switched.
Liar. Liar.
You keep hitting the whatchamacallit button for some reason.
What button?
The like cog thing, settings cog. Keeps opening up on your character sheet.
Hmm.
It's probably your double clicky mouse that you got.
Yeah.
So right now you've got 3 points in agility, 1 point in strength, 1 point in vigor, so that's 5. And then smarts and spirit are at a D4 still.
Question, Danny.
Mm-hmm.
So, since my superpower, the energy control takes 4 power points,
Mm-hmm.
does that mean I can only cast it like once?
No,
And
so
then-
it's always on. It's just superpowers are always on. You don't, unless you pick something that says otherwise.
Yeah, which that one I did. I said I have to activate it.
Yeah, so that just means as a free action, so you basically have to have a turn and a free action to activate it. Until you have your first turn, it's not working.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all that means.
Okay.
But superpowers are always on, always
you don't-
available.
Okay. You don't have to like cast it then.
No, you instead of spending them, you invest them in the power, and they're always invested in that power. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So the power points and the power points invested would be the same.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. So what I do down there is in that AB superpower section.
Yeah.
I do the number of power points that you spent. So that's what I put in there. That way you know you have 5, and if you've only spent 4, then you have 1 in the bank. Basically, you can use on a power later.
Gotcha. Can I? So when we go up in powers, up in PowerPoint, can I tweak one of my powers and make it more powerful?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Sweet.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so everybody's got attributes. Now you can do skills. You have 12 points to put into skills. So every skill is linked to an attribute. It can't go higher than that linked attribute, basically, unless you want to play double to make it go higher. So if you're athletics, for instance, if your agility, it's linked to agility. So if your agility is a D4 and you want to have a D6 athletics, that costs 2 points to push it up, because it would then be higher than your agility. So
Okay.
just keeping that linking to attributes in mind, you can spend those 12 points however you want to. The default skills you see there on your character sheet already, those are the ones that everybody starts with at a D4. If you hit the hammer and the wrench next to skills, you'll see the full list of skills. You can add any of those you want to your list. Adding one at a D4 basically counts as a point.
Then we get 5 to spend.
12.
12 to spend. Okay.
Yeah.
So how much wait, so is this where edges come in?
Nope. So edges will be after skills.
Okay.
So, yeah,
The
so
skills that are already there, for instance, like say, common knowledge, which is smarts. Does mine? I'm sorry. Does that automatically change to a D8?
nope.
Okay.
Your attribute is just the
It-
limiting
okay,
factor.
I can max out, and it costs how many points to increase it?
It costs 1 point per die type, up to the attribute that it's linked to.
Gotcha.
If you want to raise it higher than the attribute it's linked to, it costs double points.
Okay.
So Ben already spent one of your 12. I added the fighting skill to your sheet.
Okay.
So you only have 11 left. But
Okay.
well,
So and it cost 1 to bump it up to.
yeah, up to the linked skill, up to the linked attribute. I mean.
Okay. So actually, fighting is agility.
Yep, that's right.
Okay, I thought that was gonna be strength.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bump vigor down and bump agility up then.
All right, but that means it's gonna be easier for you to get hurt if you bump your vigor down.
Oh, then never mind. I'll just spend points to bump fighting up past D6.
You can do that, yeah.
I really have no idea what skills to take. Danny.
Well, thankfully, the common ones are literally the most common ones that everybody needs, except for fighting. If you're going to be doing if your abilities, superpowers, are going to have you throwing, shooting, or fighting, then of course those are important.
Well, see, I don't think mine does. Well, eventually, I would like to be able to like shoot energy as well as I level up. So should I take shooting then?
Yeah, you might want to go ahead and take it.
All right. Anything else? I don't even know. Like some of the stuff like focus, I don't know what that would be.
Yeah, focus is for using like a different arcane background. So you want that one. Healing does what you think it does. Notice, performance, repair, research, research and science. Those are useful for smarts-based characters probably more than anything. Taunt is always good. And then otherwise, really, it's kind of better in Savage Worlds to specialize in 2 or 3 skills than to have a bunch of skills.
Okay.
So it's better to have like a D8 and a couple of skills and a couple D6s than it is to have a bunch of D4s.
Gotcha.
Guys, I gotta help with something.
Okay.
All right. So
That's actually exactly what I did, Danny. So I bumped athletics up to a D8 and fighting up to a D8. I did stealth as like a D6.
So if you're going to do athletics,
is a D6.
If you're going to do athletics and fighting up to a D8, points wise, it would be just as cheap to have an agility at a D8. Because you spent 4 points to do that, right? And which would be the same cost if you bumped your agility up to a D8 first.
Oh. Okay.
So I've got 12
I did
points
not
left
know
to
that was an
spend,
option.
right?
I'll do that then.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
fine.
so what I'm telling you, Ben, is so you guys have 6. You got those 6 extra points from hindrances that you can spend anywhere. So you're probably better off spending 2 of those on your agility to bump it up, and then that way you're going to save 2 points on your skills.
Okay. Oh. Okay. Cool. So yeah, I'll do that.
All right. Sorry, John.
So I've got 12 to spend, right?
Yep.
And would it be better to bump my agility then? Probably.
What is your agility at now?
It's at a D6.
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah. Having an agility at D8 is pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah. So you said we have five of those points to skill to spend.
6. You got 6 of those points to spend any way you want to. It costs 2 to raise an attribute by 1.
Okay.
All right, so that that puts you at 4 bonus points still, John, and then you can raise your skills up however you like.
Well, I think I want to raise my spirit and my vigor up to D10s. And then that would leave me 6 points to put in skills.
Well, no. You can't spend your skill points on attributes. You have 12 skill points for attributes. You can't spend those on anything else. That's why I was trying to get you guys to do your attributes and your skills and then spend your bonus points, because your bonus points can be used for edges as well.
Oh, okay. All right. So I spent 2 on the agility, so I've got 4 bonus points left.
That's right.
Okay.
And then you've got
And
12
where's
skill points.
12 skill points to spend?
Okay, I've spent all my skill points.
All right. And
I
so,
bumped athletics up to D8 because I went up. I used 2 of those points to move my agility from a D6 to a D8.
okay.
So I bumped athletics up 2 to a D8, so that was 2 points. Bumped up notice 2 to a D8, so that's 4 points. I added Sonics because I'm going to actually use the arcane background Sonics is what I decided to do.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
Uh,
You can only use one
What?
arcane background.
What other arcane background do I have?
Superpowers.
Bloody hell. Okay, I gotta take that off.
All right.
So that's 3 points I've just got back. So I'll figure out how to use those.
All right.
All right. So,
So
question.
Yep.
So I've got 12 points to use at the bottom.
Yep.
Giving a D4 in something takes 1 point, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So I added healing and shooting and taunt.
All right. So that's 3.
So now I've got 9 more to drop,
Yeah. I'm pretty
and
sure
I'm
that's
going
what
to
it
use
is.
those just on busting the or on bumping those.
Yeah, that's what I would do. Yeah.
Okay.
And drag and drop anything.
so wait, Danny.
Yeah.
So bumping my agility from a D6 to a D8 cost my bonus points.
Yeah. 2 of your bonus points. Yep.
Okay, so I still had 12 in the skills, right?
That's right. Yep.
Outside of those 2. Okay, so I can bump intimidation 2 more to a D8. Cool.
Yeah. I think it looked like you would use 7, 8,
So
10.
1,
You'd
2,
use 10
3,
points.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then 11. And then 12 was adding fighting.
Okay.
Yeah, I just replaced Sonics with fighting.
And so edges cost how many? I'm sorry, I'm really excited about the edges.
That's okay. Let's check in with Bogus and see how he's doing with skills.
Yeah, it wasn't let me drag and drop. Then I figured I can hit the skills thingy up there and then click.
Yeah,
So-
you probably didn't hear it when I went through that earlier. You can hit the
Sorry, I had to run and help with something.
hammer and wrench and add your skills in.
So I think initially it's going to be like elemental, like shooty instead of like hand to hand. So
Hmm.
I have my general agility at a D10, and so I'm thinking I need to move my athletics up. Initially at a D6, but is it good to match your agility with your athletics, or does it matter?
It doesn't matter. It's just if you try to take it higher than your agility, that's when you get into trouble.
Okay.
So your shooting is based on your agility. If you're going to be shooting stuff, yeah, just make that as high as you can. So
Okay.
it looks like every time you try to change it, yeah, it opens up the whole thing on my screen. It's weird. All right, so you spent 2 to take athletics to a D8, 1 for notice to D6. That's 3. You got shooting. That was 4. Then D6, D8, D10. That's 8 spent. So you still, or 7 spent rather. So you still have 5 more. I would
Yes, okay.
recommend that everybody at least take fighting at a D4 because you're going to end up in fisticuffy situations at some point.
Okay. I think I'll do fighting and then take it up to a D6 to match my strength, I guess. So it's another 2.
Yeah, so it is agility based though, just so you know.
Oh, fighting's agility based. Oh.
Yep.
Oh,
Okay,
strength
I
would be damage.
think I've spent my skills. And so I've still got 4 bonus points left that I can use on edges, correct?
All right. So yeah. Well, so everybody gets 1 free edge. So let's do that now. Everybody's got their skills done. You get 1 free one. On top of the superpowers background, which is also free. Let's see.
Wait, so I get 2 free ones?
Well, you get the arcane background superpowers for free. You're all getting that because you're superheroes. And then you get 1 free one for being a human. Cool ones.
Where do I? Is the superpowers thing already added?
Yeah.
You can just type.
Okay.
You can
just
add it
type
if you want
in.
to, but by default it's there because we added the superpowers section to the character sheets.
Oh, all right.
All right. Cool edges that are in the superpower companion, in my mind anyway. Mastery, which lets you do when you do power tricks with your powers, lets you ignore the -2 penalty, which is pretty cool. Take the hit, which only works if you have a D10 or higher on your vigor, lets you add +2 to your soak rolls when you're trying to eliminate wounds. And then dynamic duo is a pretty cool one. You have to have a spirit at a D8 though. I don't know if anybody went that high.
I did.
Okay, so it lets you choose one specific character, one other character, and when assisting that person in a combined attack, you add +2 points of damage per power level and 3 points with a raise. And normally it's 1 and 2. So basically, when you do a combined attack with that person, you add more damage in. And then team player, which is similar-ish. A team player counts as an additional adjacent ally for gang up bonus. So instead of just adding 1, you add +2 when you're standing next to somebody.
Yeah, I think I'll do team player for mine.
That's a pretty cool one. I think we lost.
I chose menacing because the prerequisites,
Mhm.
2 of them were bloodthirsty and mean.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I kind of have to choose that one.
All right. Anybody else looking for ideas for edges?
Well, I picked my free one. How do we get the other one?
So what was your free one?
Alertness. Seemed to make sense with my character.
Okay. Yep. So after you picked your free one, Brandon, are you still looking for one, or have you picked it?
I'm still looking for one right now.
All right.
Again, I'm changing up what I was thinking this recently, so that's
Yeah. I mean, depending on where you want to go with them, there's a couple different things you could do. Yeah, not champion probably. The Deadshot might
Danny,
be good.
Oh.
Yep, go ahead.
I was gonna ask, does the shark punch thing make my fists natural weapons?
Nope. You'd still have to take like what is it? Martial artist or something like that to get the extra D4.
I'll draw a Joker to do that one.
Yeah.
Well, I was wondering because it just said, shark punch.
Right. Sweep. Let's see. What do they call that? It's not. It's not martial.
Is it
artist.
martial warrior?
No.
Oh, it is. It might be martial artist because it says requirements. You have to be seasoned and have martial artist.
No, I just didn't see
on
martial artist
martial
on the list.
warrior.
Yeah, it does say martial artist, but I don't see that listed under the edges for some reason.
Oh wait, martial artist isn't an edge. I think it's a class or something.
No. It's
because I clicked on it in the
Yeah, and it just sent you to the
It
whatchamacallit,
sent me to yeah.
the bestiary. Yeah, I'm pretty sure martial artist is an edge, or martial arts or something like that. Let me look at the book. It may just
So
be missing.
your PowerPoints,
hmm
you said we don't have to use those to use an ability, right?
Right. Yeah. You spend them to gain the ability permanently. Yeah.
Okay, so like an edge that says power surge, it says you regain 10 points, 10 power points when your action card is a joker.
Yeah. Yeah. That wouldn't help you any.
Okay.
That's really for Magic
Gotcha.
and Sonics.
Yeah. Yeah. That's for all of the other arcane backgrounds where you actually spend them to activate your powers. So martial artist is an edge. It's just not listed in Roll20 for some reason. The
Okay.
requirements are fighting D6. Your hands and feet are weapons. You always add +1 when striking with them, and you cause a strength plus a D4 damage when you attack.
Okay.
So it gives you a +1 to hit with your hands and feet, and then plus a D4 damage.
So I can take that, right?
Yeah, you can take that, and then your attacks would do your strength plus a D4 plus the D6 damage.
Hey, Danny.
So would I
think I'll do
change
it.
this?
Never mind. Good.
So would I change this shark punch thing? I'm sorry, I'm kind of clueless.
Yeah, you would change the damage on that.
Okay, to what?
Here, I'll change it for you. I did the same thing for Blobert the other day. Let's see.
And can you copy and paste that so I can put it under my edges?
I did. I put it in. On the,
Oh, okay.
It's
Thanks.
hideous, but I put it on there. There you go. I added it to your damage for you.
So it
It's
just
definitely-
adds a D4 to my damage.
Ben's definitely gonna have the most badass guy because he actually has put a lot of thought into this.
He's just got punchy shark fists.
Honestly, yeah. My really my inspiration was
King
I
Shark.
just went for no, I went I actually didn't know King Shark existed. I was going for like a killer croc, but instead of a croc, a shark.
Yeah, just King Shark.
And ended up with King Shark, which I still didn't know existed.
The
till
most
Danny
hilarious
told me.
version. Yeah, the most hilarious version of King Shark so far is on that Harley Quinn series on HBO Max.
I was
Act-
about to watch that. Is
He-
it
oh
worth?
yeah, oh god, yeah, it's hilarious. Especially the King Shark version because he's like a hacker too. So he
Oh,
like
what?
he walks around like in chinos and a hoodie, and he can hack into computers and stuff. It's actually pretty awesome. And then just occasionally when he bites people's heads off, literally.
Oh gosh. I didn't even know that
yeah.
existed. I might have to check that out.
Oh yeah, it's so the Kaylee Cuoco voices Harley Quinn in that series, which is she's I think the only series where Harley Quinn's not voiced by the person who's basically always done it since Batman the Animated Series.
Mhm.
But she does a really good job.
Cool.
Yeah, it's pretty hilarious. And it puts Batman in kind of a background role and sometimes makes him kind of a cheesy joke a little bit, you know.
That's nice.
So it's pretty funny.
All right.
I
Looks like you've chosen Two Gun Kid, Bogus.
Yeah, I can. I guess try to do 2 like elemental attacks ranged.
Yep.
One per hand.
Now you'll have -2 on one of them because it'll be your offhand, unless. So
Oh, I
now,
thought I
You
negated it.
take
Unless
ambidextrous.
take ambidextrous.
Okay.
So Two Gun Kid lets you shoot twice without taking the multi-action penalty. So normally it would be a -2 to your first attack and then -4 to the second one because it's your offhand.
Okay. So how do I get the second edge?
Well, so you spent 2 of your 6 points on your agility, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, you didn't. All right, so you still have all 6 of your points.
Mhm.
You can for 2 points you can buy an edge. For 2 points you can raise an attribute, and for 1 point you can raise a skill. So you got 6 points to play with however you want to. You can take ambidextrous,
Say that
Yeah.
again. For 2 points, you can do what?
take an edge, or raise an attribute by a die type.
And for 1 point, you can do what?
Raise a skill, and up to its maximum based on
Gotcha.
the linked attribute.
I'm gonna take Brawler as my second one,
I figured
which
you
will
might.
bump. Yeah, just really go into this punch
Yeah.
All right, so I'll
because
do
I've
2
got other
for ambidextrous.
requirements.
So I for my edges, I
Mhm.
took team player. I took quick because I liked that on Bailey,
Yeah.
and I took luck.
Luck is an extra Benny. Is that what it is?
Yep, an extra Benny at the beginning of the session.
An
Nice.
extra beginning.
All right, and then you spent your other 2 points on raising your agility, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. How's everybody else doing?
I'm going to take mastery. I'm going to spend 2 points
What's
to
that
get
do?
mastery. That's out of the Savage Worlds Superpowers companion.
Uh-huh.
So one of my heroes' powers chosen when this edge is taken, so I'm going to have to choose which one. Ignores the -2 penalty when doing power tricks.
Nice. Yeah, that's the one I really like. Sweet.
And so I'm going to choose Jinx
Okay.
as the power that I use that with.
All right. Nice.
And then I'm going to probably do one more edge yet to be determined.
So what is the power tricks thing?
Okay, yeah, so I've actually added that under handouts here. You'll see I've already added the fun rules for superpowers for you. Combined attacks, synergy, power stunts, and power tricks. Or bam, zap, wham, and pow, as I labeled them. You see that on Roll20?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so if you open up power tricks, it'll tell you you can use one of your powers as like an active thing to do its normal stuff that it does plus an extra thing. So Matt can jinx somebody and then also delay them, which makes them swap action cards with the next person behind them, or lower their defenses, which lowers their parry by 2, or lower a trait, going them a -2 penalty for their next action. Set them up, slow them, any of those. Basically, the way that works is you use the power, and you have to roll at a -2, or else they get a +2 to resist it. And if your power action succeeds, then it does its normal thing that it does plus the power trick part. That was fast. Did that make any sense?
Mm-hmm. Sort of.
So if Matt wants to jinx somebody, but he also wants to set them up for Ben to punch them, he would roll his jinx ability at a -2, and if he succeeds, they're jinxed, and Ben gets a +2 to hit them on his next action. Actually, everybody does until the guy's next action.
Except now mine doesn't take a -2.
That's right, because of the edge.
Well, would it be better for me to take that instead of lucky?
All right, that's up to you. I mean, take lucky. You know, every time you guys go up, get a an advance, you're going to get 2 more points, and you can
So you
use.
basically can take another edge or bump a dice.
That's right,
It's like an ASI, but you get one at every level.
or upgrade a skill or 2. Yeah.
Hate it when I click on an edge and it requires you to be seasoned.
Yeah, it's a bummer. So the other cool thing you can do with powers is power stunts, and that's listed on here too. You can basically, if Ben wanted to do a ranged attack, right? He could punch the ground so hard that it does like a cone template attack on everybody in front of him. And what you do,
That's cool.
or if he's got super strength, and he wants to, or if he wants to punch and let himself fly, or use his punch to let Matt fly, he could do that. You spend a Benny, and then you can use the effect of another power with your main one of your main powers. So yeah,
That's hard to kill. It's spirit.
Yeah. And then of course there's combined attacks, which are also cool.
Are we talking about? Are we going
Ooh.
to talk about power limits? Is that a thing for us?
Yeah. So as of right now, for the first few adventures, your power limit is going to be 5. You can't spend more than 5 points on any particular power, but you don't have to worry about that right now because you only have 5 points.
So I'm actually gonna swap menacing out for first strike.
Oh, you like that, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at first strike too. It's pretty nice.
Mhm.
I'll get menacing later on.
All right. Well, has everybody spent all their extra points? Is anybody still?
No, not yet.
Yeah, I still need one more edge, and I'm not sure what I want it to be.
You can just always
Yeah.
bump an attribute by 1 die type if you don't see anything else. You can
And to be
always-
Well,
clear,
there's plenty of stuff. It's just all the ones I want are seasoned.
Yeah. Yeah.
it cost me 2 points to bump agility up, and it cost me 2 points for each of my edges aside from the free one, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I was just making sure. So I only get 3 edges.
Yeah,
Total.
total. Yeah, the 1 free one and the 2 you can spend with your 4 extra points.
Okay.
Or
Cool.
I mean, you could always raise your strength up another die type or your vigor. Vigor is really good because it every time you raise that makes it harder for you to be hurt. Fighting is
I think-
important because it raises your parry score, which makes it harder for you to get hit in melee.
What
Wait.
raises your parry?
Fighting.
Oh,
So my fighting is a D8, but my parry's only 6. Is that right?
Yeah, so it's half the die type plus 2. That's your parry.
Okay.
So if your fighting was a D10, your parry would be 7.
Okay. Well, I got the bump to toughness, so I can always do this later on. I mean, this is literally a level 1 character.
Yep.
I'd rather have the edges, I think.
All right, anybody stuck anywhere right now?
I think I want to take first strike too. I mean, this is such a good skill, or edge rather.
Oh, it is legit.
Yeah, I clicked on it just kind of accidentally. I'm glad I did.
think about
Also
counterattack.
I want to get counterattack at some point too,
Yeah.
but you have to have seasoned and fighting as a D8.
Another really good one, but it requires seasoned is block. Block is legitimately good.
Yeah, block and dodge are both legit, but they both require seasoned.
Hey, you can be a blodger,
How do you get seasoned?
like a Blood Bowl.
Once you get to 3 advances, I think you're seasoned. Right now, you guys are at 0 advances. So
How big does growth make me?
well, it increases your size by 1 per level. So you've taken 1 level of it so far, so your size is at 1.
So, like, if a normal person is like, the
Yeah.
average person is what, 6 foot?
No, the average person here is probably about 5'6".
Oh,
You're up to a size 3 is still like you fit in a 5 foot by 5 foot square. At size 4, you're considered large. You
okay.
take up 4 squares.
So, how tall do you think
At plus
Sir
1,
Irontooth would
I don't know.
be?
6'2", 6'3", something like that.
I'll just make him my size then. Like my exact size.
So I think it's 2 for edges, 2
70,
for abilities,
And 1 for skills.
one for skills. Okay. And we had 12 points for skills originally, right?
Right.
Okay. So I can get another. What other edge would you recommend?
There is. I don't know. You didn't like my idea about Deadshot because you said it didn't come up enough, which is fair.
Well, I mean, I've never gone to Joker.
That it's
By the
bound
way,
to
it
happen.
it has a set at 4 advances and seasoned, just so you know.
Say what now?
Our character sheet has a set at 4 advances and seasoned.
That's-
You have to change the type of edge to creation.
Yeah,
So the first one will be racial, right?
yeah. The first one's
And then
racial. The
rest
other
of 'em
ones
will
are
be
creation. Yeah.
So I'm gonna make brawler racial, and then the other one's creation.
By the way, Danny, energy control requires that I select a type of energy,
Yeah.
and so I'm choosing radiation since my name is Gamma.
All right.
Pretty much all energy mouse types, right?
Well, it gives you cold, darkness, electricity, fire and heat, kinetic, light, magnetism, mental, radiation, sound, or wind.
Yeah. It wants you to choose one of those because if you don't choose one of those, then it's harder for everything to interact. If you choose something out of the list, interactions are more straightforward.
Yep.
All right. Is everybody done?
Almost. I have a question, Danny.
Yeah, I'm done.
What you got?
Counterattack, does it require... Damn it, it's seasoned as well. I got 2 more points. I've already got agility at D10. That's my primary. My athletics is D10, and so is fighting and shooting.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I have 2-gun kit and ambidextrous. I can't do counterattack or dodge.
What's your smarts at?
Smarts is D4.
Okay. I was gonna say you could pick team leader, but that needs a smarts of a D8. Your spirit's a D4 as well. You could pick combat sense. Negates to negate gang up bonus, except you need your notice to be up 1 higher. Which you're already pushing it up to a D6. That took 2 points just to do that. What's your vigor?
Decent. Vigor's D8.
Yeah, I don't see anything that based on your attributes and skills. I don't really see anything in the super companion book thingy. Yeah, you can pick marksman, but you have to be a seasoned for that as well. You could do Iron Jaw.
I saw Iron Jaw. I almost picked that one, but I decided to just pour everything into my punching.
Right.
Only to avoid knockout rolls, though.
Well, it's to soak rolls and vigor rolls to avoid knockout blows. So it adds +2 to your soak, and it adds +2 to your vigor rolls to avoid knockout blows. So
a knockout blow is...
page 100. Let's see. I mean, knockout blow doesn't come up that often, but soaking does.
You know, I could... Okay, what's going to raise my parry up? Is it my fighting?
Yep.
Crap. My agility's D10. What benefits don't get me to raise my agility from D10 to D12?
You'd be very agile. I mean, anytime
Or
you make
would...
an agility roll, that would be easier, of course.
Or raising my vigor from D8 to D10 to increase my toughness.
Yeah, that would increase your toughness. Let's see. If a character takes enough damage to be shaken, so basically a knockout blow only happens if somebody has to drop on you.
Yeah.
But I mean, soak rolls happen every time you take damage and don't want to get hurt.
Okay, between Elan and Quick.
I don't know. Elan, I think we'd use it a lot more often.
Yeah, I'll just do Elan. Get that bonus to using a Benny.
It doesn't apply to soak rolls, but it applies to pretty much everything else.
Okay, I'll do that. Just move it along. Okay.
Actually, it can apply to soak rolls if you spend a second Benny to re-roll your soak roll. Then you get a +2.
Okay. Let's just go with that.
All right. All right. Is that everybody?
Indeed.
Okay. Who has not already picked up their superhero powers?
I haven't decided, but I was thinking matter manipulation or matter control or whatever that is. And you mentioned switchable.
Yeah, that seems like a lot to start with, and because it for no other reason it adds +2 to the cost of the power.
Uh,
I thought for sure you were going to choose attack ranged
oh,
for yours
well,
and fire. So you could do this. You could choose attack ranged, right, at level 1. Make it switchable. That would cost 4 points,
mm-hmm.
and you could pick whatever you want, fire, and then you could also have like lightning, water, and earth or something. So you could
So I
switch.
could choose a second element with that additional point, or
Well, so it doesn't even call it. Yeah, you pay 2 more points, and then you can choose a second element. Yeah.
okay, so attack ranged and then switchable.
Uh-huh.
Danny, I think I need to change my power.
Okay.
Well, I'm just saying the energy control, it's like a big old template. It's like 12 inches and everything in it gets hit.
There is a thing for that, right?
Yeah, but it's +2 to make it selective.
Yep.
So I think what I need to do is I think I need to swap that out for damage field.
Okay. So that you can make that one selective, is what you're saying?
Yeah, or I mean, well, because that one has to be activated.
Mm-hmm.
So like I can turn it on, and actually, yeah, I could make it selective.
So let's see. If you want to damage, you can injure a target striking them with force surrounding them. Energy. So that you have to choose to damage everybody in that area with energy control.
Right, but I can't choose whether or not I'm hitting my friends or not, because I don't have enough points to make it the modifier.
Well, yeah. So you just have to like place the. I mean, if you want to do energy control, like that's what you want to do long term, I would say just go ahead and do it. I mean, you're supposed to be terrible, terrible superheroes that have just gotten your powers, right? And then the first time you get more power points, you could just add selective for 2. Use 2 of your 5 new ones to add selective. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I think I like damage field better.
Okay.
Seriously, I mean, because it even says that it's radiation.
Mm-hmm.
I like that idea, so
That's
I'm going to change mine up a little bit.
all right.
The fact that I can't drag and drop Jinx is annoying.
Yeah, all of your superpowers you're going to have to. I just copy and pasted from the PDF, to be honest. Ben's lucky. I did his for him, just trying to learn how to set it all up. That, and I knew exactly what he was wanting to do because he told me. Made it easy. So damage field. Let's read about that. This power creates a dangerous aura or field. Ooh, a field. That's a keyword for John. Choose a power type. Radiation. Check. Damage field must be activated as a free action. Once on, it remains that way until the character decides to shut it down or is incapacitated. At the end of the character's movement and around, every adjacent character suffers 2d6 damage, plus a d6 per level. So that's you're just like pouring out radiation from your body. That's what's happening.
Yep.
Nice. And you're thinking you're going to do selective with it?
Eventually, yeah.
Oh, so you're
But
not
for
gonna...
now, I'll just have to make sure that I'm not standing right next to one of my friends.
Well, what are you going to do with your other 2 points then? Because this only takes
Well,
3.
I think I'm going to keep the deflection.
Deflection?
Yep, I took deflection
Gotcha.
so I can like throw up a shield against ranged attacks.
Okay.
And then I think I'm going to use the last +1 to make my damage field armor piercing.
Oh, nice. Give you that AP of 2.
Yeah, because I mean it is radiation. I don't care if you're wearing armor.
All right. All right. Matt, have you picked yours?
Yeah, I was going to do Jinx, obviously. Mentioned that earlier. Parry and deflection. And then save my last point for another
All right.
level.
What does parry do for you? At what
So parry and
points?
deflection are basically like the hand-to-hand and ranged versions of each other. So parry, your character's parry increases by +1 each time this power is taken. So basically I'm giving myself a +1 to parry.
Oh, so you're just taking it once? One
I
level.
could take it I guess I could take parry twice and deflection once.
So if you're thinking about taking... I don't know. If you're thinking about taking parry... I don't know. I'll go back and forth. Are you doing any hand-to-hand fighting at all? What's your...
Yeah, I mean I'm gonna do both.
what's your plan like with weapons for your guy? You're gonna have like hand-to-hand weapons and fight, or
Yeah, I'm gonna have both. I'm gonna have like a crowbar and like throwing knives.
okay? I was just thinking that you could take if you were gonna put 2 points into it, you could take super. What is it called? Let me find it. Super skill. Uh, so if you super skill is 1 point per level as well, and it increases your skill by 1 step per point you put into it. So, depending on what you're fighting is at, if you're fighting is at like less than a D12.
My
You're actually,
fighting's at a D8.
yeah, you'd actually get more out of it to get the super skill.
But my so can super skill push it past your die
Yeah,
type?
yep, and it can push it past D12 as well.
Okay. And so so my damage is not going to be very much because my strength is only a D4. But but your hit to hit is based on agility. So I don't know.
Yeah. So,
Um
so super attribute can take for 2 points takes your attribute dice up a step. Super skill for 1 point takes the skill up, and it ignores attribute ties. But the reason I'm telling you to take that instead of parry is it costs 1 point for parry, which increases your parry by 2,
only about one.
by 1, and it costs 1 point for super skill, which increases your fighting die by a die type, which also increases your parry by 1.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely much better. I guess I could just do super skill. I mean, I guess I could just pour because I'm mostly going to be hand to hand,
Mm-hmm.
which means should I have put my shooting at a D8? Damn, did I screw that up? This is so hard.
Yeah, if you're not going to be shooting a gun, you don't need shooting at all.
I
If you're
thought shooting was like for throwing knives and stuff too.
That's athletics. Athletics is used for throwing.
F. Okay, so I've got 3 more skill points to spend too. Then,
Oh, wait
because
a minute.
shooting you had to add, right? It wasn't a.
That's right.
It's not a base one, is it?
That's right.
Okay. All right. Jesus Louises. Okay.
The cheeses of all the Louises.
All right. Jeez, this is so difficult. Okay. Okay. I'm
It's
all
really
right.
not. All right.
All right,
I
so
feel
Matt,
like it
so
is.
maybe ask the question: do I need shooting for my abilities or
Yes.
fighting?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're doing the ranged attack thing,
Yeah.
like firing beams, then yeah, that does use shooting.
Okay, then I'm good then. I just want to make sure.
And I think I need to change my deflection maybe for toughness or parry, since I'm going to be like in base contact with people.
Yeah. Well, same thing. If you're thinking about using parry, the same thing I told Matt goes. You get super skill fighting instead, because that's
I've only got 1 point to spend.
well, you can spend 1 point on super skill fighting.
Super skill fighting.
So is it stupid to have a D4 strength and be a hand-to-hand?
I mean, yeah. But you could always raise it as time goes by.
Oh, well, you know what? I'm just gonna, damn. Okay. I'm just gonna knock my vigor down and my spirit down and raise my strength.
Well, I mean, a D6 strength would be fine.
All right. Well, I'm gonna, vigor is for, spirit's for shaking, right?
Yeah.
All right. We'll put that back up to a D6 then.
Your job as provisional superheroes is going to be to like stop muggers and keep people from robbing the sushi place 3 times a day.
Right.
That's the kind of jobs they're going to expect you to do.
Gotcha.
If you see people with guns, that's a gut decision. You got to make that one yourself.
Someone call the police.
Yeah. It's like call the police and wait across the street, maybe. Get the tag. Those are your
Really quick, Danny, you said you suggested the range attack and then switchable. So
yeah.
what can I do with that extra point?
You could bank it and just hold on to it for now if you want.
I can hold on to it. Okay.
um,
So switchable means I can switch between different elements, but also different types of ranged attacks.
Well, let's see. You can't spend more than the original one. That's the only thing. So let's see. Attack ranged. Yeah, so if you wanted one of your abilities, like if you wanted fire to be, just like a beam of fire, and then like your ice attack to be a cone, you could do that because you can do that for 0, right?
Yeah.
So you definitely could do things like that.
All right. But I don't need to spend points to be able to do elemental stuff itself.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're basically going to be spending 4 points to get 2 different kinds of attacks. You'll have a fire attack. Well, it doesn't have to be fire and ice. It could be electric or water or whatever you want it to be.
Okay. I'm trying to get all this in now.
But yeah, you can definitely switch and have one be a regular range attack and one be a cone attack.
Okay. But I had to choose that early on, not like in the battle, whatever.
Yeah, you have to choose it with the ability. Yeah. Say when I switch to this power type, it's a cone attack.
Okay.
Unless you want to go ahead and spend your 5th point and make it to make that one power to where you can switch. It can be either one. But if you're already switching powers, you might as well just have one that's a cone and one that's not.
Guess so.
Because you already spent the 2 extra points. Why spend another one?
Yeah. I'm trying to copy and paste this all into the character sheet from the PDF.
Yeah, the line breaks is a real pain in the butt doing that.
Exactly. That's what I'm spending my time doing right now.
Yeah. Get to know the end and delete buttons on your keyboard because they're right next to each other. You can use those in combination to get rid of those line breaks.
Combos, they're so important.
That's right. All right, is everybody done?
I think so.
We'll find out our first session. As then we're like, oh wait, I didn't know that. Give me a minute as I readjust everything.
Right. My other, so I had several character ideas in case somebody didn't have one. My other one besides Blobert that I had was a guy named Eric, whose mom is one of the top 3 most powerful superheroes in the world. He's 35. He's been kidnapped or held hostage for ransom or as a distraction from his mom 48 times during his 35 years.
Oh, he's Lois Lane.
Yeah, he's never had any inkling of a superpower until most recently, when one of the bad guys was holding him up by his leg, to distract his mom, and accidentally dropped him. He dropped 40 feet, hit the ground, didn't quite die, and developed regenerative powers. So
Nice.
that's what he starts out with is regenerative powers, and over time he basically gets the same powers as his mom. He can fly, super strength, toughness, all that stuff.
Did you get that from Jupiter's Legacy?
No, is that did something like that happen? That didn't happen in Jupiter's Legacy.
No, it's just one of those things that like being the kid and it slowly comes up.
No, I got that. That's actually from Greek mythology, from the adopted son of Athena. That's where I got it from. So I just thought the idea of being 35 years old and suddenly your mom, who's the most powerful superhero in the world, puts you in the basically gets you a free pass to be a superhero and puts you in this group with everybody else. And all you can do is heal when you get beat up. that's your special power.
Basically, you're just the meat shield.
Yeah, you can take a serious beating.
You're Wolverine without the claws.
Right, yeah.
And the rage and pretty much everything else.
Yeah. And 3 days later, your body is mended, but your chinos are still destroyed.
Oh. Man.
Yeah.
Got those from Banana Republic.
Oh no, we freaking lost Craig.
Of course.
I have no idea when that happened.
Really need to get a new intern. This guy just...
I'll have to pull the audio off Twitch for this one.
Okay, so I just put super skill fighting +2 and Jinx. That's what I got, and I'm leaving 1 point in the bank.
All right. Sounds good.
Yep, I changed mine to damage field, but it's armor piercing, and I did super skill fighting.
I feel like I'm going to end up going back through and reading the book and killing this guy and making somebody else.
Yeah.
So one of the options for character death is you just the crap beat out of you so much that all your powers change. You come back and you're like completely all your powers are different because you got the crap beat out of you so much. So if you want to do that, that's fine. Or
it may be. I don't know. My idea of what I was going to do just didn't seem to work out.
Well, 1 out of 20 provisional superheroes will still be a provisional superhero next week. So you can easily just make another guy. That's fine.
Since basically we get more powerful the more we get beat up, why don't we just make Super Saiyans?
Yeah, you can just do that. I expected one of you just start out, just push all your points into flight as fast as you could, and that'd be it. Be a taco delivery guy when you're not saving people.
Yeah.
The Rocketeer.
I got tacos there really fast, but the crunchy ones always break because they can't handle the speed.
Right. Cheese is always melted.
Yeah. The hard tacos will always become taco salad.
That's right.
It's not my fault that your tacos can't handle my speed.
Speed is actually the speed power is really cool because the faster you get, the harder it is for people to hit you, and you can get modifiers like pummel, which lets you punch people super fast. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, but I guess the drive was to, at least on my part, was to try to do something that wasn't completely.
I like all of them you guys are doing. I think you and John are picking some interesting routes. I think elemental power thing is cool. And I mean, who doesn't like a shark man?
Just don't eat people.
I can't wait for you guys for us to play next week and for you guys to run into the evil Skippy, the first supervillain in town.
Oh. You know what Ben really should play his shark man as? A hipster.
I guess at this point, my goal is to fight and just make it really hard for things to hit me.
That would be funny to be like Shark Man and wear the scarf and the skinny jeans,
It's
sipping
like,
his latte.
man, I was biting people back before it was cool.
Yeah.
I think his character should always have bandages wrapped around his fingers because he's always accidentally biting his hands when he's trying to eat. Because he was just a regular guy until recently, you know. And like
Right.
you'd be walking down the street and there'd be half of a fork sticking out of his mouth. He didn't even know it.
He had some really bad dating experiences doing the first kiss.
Oh gosh.
Oh God.
He doesn't get a second date because as soon as he goes in for that kiss and his eyes roll back, they're like, nope.
How can I even tell if my eyes roll black? They're just little black balls.
No, they're white when they roll back. It's freaky.
Yeah.
Whenever a shark bites, its eyes roll back. So
Yeah. Nope. Your long-term girlfriend dumped you immediately after the incident, which is
yeah, sadly she was a werewolf, so it just didn't work out after you tried your powers.
oh man. She had radioactive tuna, and so she's a half tuna lady. You could not stop trying to devour her.
Work out.
If only it had been like a killer whale or something, at least you could have stood her ground.
Now I want to remake a character named Seal Clubber.
He actually uses a seal as a club.
I mean, there's only a few things wrong with this.
Yeah, I guess his major hindrance was every day he has to go and kill a fresh seal to use as a club.
It's so sad. And he could have a major hindrance of dependent, which could be like his mom that raises seals.
Yeah.
It'd be a conflict.
Where do you go every morning, Seal Clubber? Don't ask questions.
Clubbing, that's all.
Just go clubbing. Poor. Hey, today's seal is still moving around. Yeah, helps him stay fresh.
His other major hindrance is bark like a seal.
That's his gimmick. That could be his gimmick. To activate his powers, he has to do that.
Yeah.
All right,
Please
Matt
don't-
needs to get some sleep, obviously.
I'm going to stay up and make Seal Clubber.
Seal Clipper.
That's
Oh
great.
man, that's exactly. We just need this to be recorded so we get more hate mail.
There's going to be there's got to be an edge for like specialized weapon or something too.
There should probably be a hindrance of
Creepy.
accidentally offensive.
Not
No matter what they
accidental.
say, it just comes across as offensive.
That your character already has that hindrance.
Yeah, I figured.
Where is he? No, you took it, or one of you guys did it. Or maybe it was John took it
Took what?
for Gamma. It's tongue-tied.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm on one-liners late.
And it
No
gives
matter what you say, people were just like, "Oh my gosh, why would you say that?"
All right, Matt. I made you an extra character called Clubba on there. You can.
Yeah. So and ironically, his one of his edges would be Beast Bond. He's extremely bonded to seals, but he has to kill them anyway.
So there's just
To use
tears streaming down his face the entire time.
He just cries himself to sleep every night.
His superpower is animal empathy.
I just can't help it.
But he does plus 8d6 every time he hits with it, so he can't stop. He has to fight the bad guys. It's a worthy sacrifice.
If he's a seal clubber, does he club seals or he use seals as a club?
He uses seals as the club.
Okay.
Both.
I just want to make sure of
Clubs
that.
the seals. He clubs the seals, and then he uses that seal as a club.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, he feels so bad that he takes the rest of the seals out to the club to go clubbing.
And then the
God,
next
there's so
morning it
many
all
layers
starts
to
over.
this.
Yeah. The next morning it starts all over. It's a vicious cycle.
I'm just saying I would not bring any of your seals around Sharkman.
That's true. That would be a major problem.
I might get a little bloodthirsty.
So
Right.
what kind of art style are we going with on this?
I'm doing like a cyberpunk thing. So I can show you another one of the maps here to give you guys like an idea of what kind of art style we're doing. There you go.
I like that a lot. Neon Shark.
Okay.
Is that inside of a computer?
Nope, it's a street. It's a
Oh.
nicer street than the one you guys live on.
This does
okay.
look
I
like
see
it would
it.
be a. This does look like it would be a background on like a computer or something.
So I think we just all of a sudden moved into Tron.
You need to shut your face. I got a bunch of these maps already paid for. And I've
Holy
I
got,
crap!
liked
I
it.
think Ben's character actually is King Shark.
I
His
guess I need to. I
icon.
guess I need to make my my
Still
character.
until like a few days ago.
Guess I need to make my
Dude, we're gonna
avatar
get so
token.
screwed with copyright infringement because of you.
no, you guys just send me the art, and I've got token templates set up with
We're just not allowed to.
neon outlines and everything already.
Okay, mine's right there, in the character sheet.
All right.
Yeah, can you pull it from the character sheet?
Yeah.
Danny. Okay, I was just making sure because otherwise I was gonna have to find the picture again on my phone or lap. Or,
You
iPad.
already have your guy's already down there.
Well, yeah, I mean that's not the token though. That's just his
Oh,
picture.
okay.
Like if you were to drag out your guy again,
Yeah, he would just use that picture.
it would just pull the picture. See?
Gotcha.
I just put them all down
Yeah,
there so everybody can
find
see the
something.
map to begin with. That's the only reason they're down there.
What's up, dude?
All right. Well, I think we're all set for next week.
Yeah.
I just have a horrible feeling that my character is gonna accidentally set the loft on fire when he finds out that he has fire abilities.
I
I
think
think a shark.
This
Oh, it's
freaking punch is incredible.
I think saying loft is really overselling your y'all's apartment.
I mean,
Holy
I was trying
crap,
to give us
dude.
some credit, but
Well, that was a crit though.
Well, that's not a well. That was 2 exploded dice, but remove
Yeah.
6 from that, and that's
dang.
still a lot. Because I get the D10 for strength, because that's what my strength is.
I re-rolled it.
Then
You got a 24. Yeah, it's a
and then I get
D10
plus D6 because it's my
super
powerful
punch.
melee attack.
Yep.
And then Brawler added another D4, but Martial Artist had also added a D4, so it bumped it to a D6.
Yep.
Wouldn't it be better to make it just 2D4?
No.
That's not how it works.
No?
It bumps it up.
Oh.
It bumps it up a die type.
Okay.
All right, guys, I am calling it for the night.
Yep, I think I am too. Yeah, 24 damage is gonna crush.
Here you go. Bye.
See, crush anything.
Look at that 22 bonus damage.
Well, you
That's what you're
also
banking
rolled
on.
3 6s.
Okay. All right. Well, let's de-twitchify. Bye, Twitchers.
Yeah, I like this.
I wish I see you, Craig, but
this
he
character
bailed a
a
long time
lot.
ago. You jerk.
Yeah, Craig, you jerk.